painted paintings. I can only say this, it's a sequence of over about 35 years of paintings that is in that exhibition room. And yeah, I'm very happy to exhibit here as well, because this room is extraordinary.
About your life, when did you start? You say, I want to do this.
Yes, well,
for my life, there was like a moment, there was like a click, or
yes.
not really?
Well, there was certainly a click. I was living in Holland. I'm born in Holland, and normally I started to study architecture in Holland, and well, I felt this was not what I wanted to do, and yeah, I had a very strong click in my head that I said, no, I want to live a complete different life. And well, this started, funny enough, by growing vegetables. I wanted to be out in nature. And I was living pretty on my own in the north of Holland, and there I started to do sculptures. I must have been like 20 years then. And well, and later this developed into not so long into to painting, and I've had a person who has learned me. I have not gone to a university or art schools, and I'm happy I didn't. And well, it's a long way. It's a long way to learn, and as well. At one point, I became a professional. But it was always difficult to entirely live from my art. I was married, I had children, and so, but I was always able to work on my own. So I did other jobs beside. I loved restoring old houses. So I always had a possibility to say, well, now I'm going to paint for 6 months, or now I'm going to paint in the afternoon or in the morning. I was free. So. And gradually, at one point, I was quite successful. And but the main thing was that I could continue looking into art, and yeah, it's not such an easy way. It takes a lot of concentration. And yes, but a long career. I don't regret anything. I have become, well, a little bit known. I don't mind so much that I have not become a celebrous person. And I've had a lot of exhibitions in a lot of countries. And I could exchange with a lot of people. And that for me was really a very important part of this, to exchange with other people. Yes.
Started sailing as in 1981, if I'm not mistaken, or?
Yes, that could be more or less the time.
What's special, that first one that you got to put your paintings out, you remember the feeling? That first one?
Yes, well, my first exhibition was a group exhibition. And yeah, that was, yeah, of course it was special to do that if you had never done it. As well, I'm not out of an artistic family, so for me everything was new, and yes, it sometimes gave as well lonely feelings. You know, artists, they are very much on their own, and I never liked so much I don't want to generalize, but anyway, I could not do it. I don't want to play the clown or to be extroverted too much, and yes, just wanted to stay the way I was. Yeah.
I noticed you have the colors in your paintings. Is this your? I don't understand too much about painting, but I noticed there's no there's the color, and you can see the figures there. You can see the figures, the humans, and the touches. That are the idea that I had, but it struck me more the colors.
Yes.
The colors there for you are important.
Yes. Yeah, well, a color is a huge playground. It is, yeah, for somebody who doesn't know, it's maybe hard to understand. But you have to imagine that if you have, for instance, in the right bottom corner of a painting, you have a blue color. You change that into red, the whole painting will change. Because color lives among color. And in a way, in that sense, you cannot say color exists, because it's in a continuous movement and interaction with other colors. And as well, it's not only the color may create depth, or can create all sort of things, vibrations, feelings, emotions.
Warm, cool.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, and so it's a very very complex thing, and yeah, that's part of the painting for me. The color is very important to study.
You have a favorite color? Now I'm thinking about all the colors. You have actually a favorite color now, really? You have one color?
Yeah, well, at one point I did a lot of blue. Yeah, I have an affinity for blue, but no, I cannot say anymore I have a favorite color. No.
When you paint, you go to places to paint, or usually on your atelier, on your spot?
Yes.
So like you go to on location, or not
No,
really?
I don't go on location.
No, you don't go.
I stay in my studio. I've had a lot of different studios. The main thing is in the studio is that you have windows which are more or less on the northern side, because the sun is not coming in. Because if the sun comes into and then the clouds come before it, you have very different types of light. And so you like to have an objective light, as the color is already so difficult. If it's with the light, it would change all the time. It's very hard to work. So that's why painters often they have their studios with, as they say, northern light. Well, it is. It could take months.
Yeah, just one painting.
Yes, but it could take a day as well. I mean, in my lifetime, I've made paintings that is interesting to finish them in a day. It's just one explosion of energy in a way. But mostly, I like to make paintings that have a lot of layers, which gives more depth to it. And as they are all oil paints, it's like acrylic paint that dries in a few hours. But oil paint takes a long time to dry, so you have to be careful not to rub in one layer into another. Technically that would show up later, and that doesn't work well. So it takes a lot of if you really want to put a lot of layers on your painting and make it more. Yeah, it gets more depth, and it could get far more interesting. That could take quite a while, yes. Only just because of the technique. So normally for that reason in my studio I would have like 15 paintings that I would be working at the same time, you see.
For someone that wants to start painting,
Yes.
Whatever,
yes.
What advice you give someone?
Yes, well, there are people that I've given art courses to, and well, the advice is to forget everything that you know, because everything you know, if you want to apply that in a way, you're not going to get very far. In a way, you're a little dead. You know, you have to look for things you don't know, and that mostly is what is inside of you, in your heart or in your inside. But I can learn people not to paint with their head, but with their heart and with their instinct, and that's what a person should do when he'd start to paint. But that's of course not so easy on your own. So if people would be interested, I could give them courses in that. Yes.